Prophet Marshall Occurrence. Yeah, this video basically it's gonna be about what has to happen, the fall of America. And excuse me, all that has to happen in order for that fall to be complete. This is day one of my 3-day fast. I got a new fast, and this is 3-day. This is first day complete, basically. I got about 2 more days to go into my fast or whatever. So basically, man, this is what you need to hear. This is what's in my spirit. Black people have to fall, in order for America to fall. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it has to happen because it's part of it. They're not going to be here just sitting around drinking pina coladas. They're not going to be drinking pina coladas while the rest of the world fall off. Not here in America. Maybe somewhere else. Maybe somewhere else they'll be drinking pina coladas, not here. Not here, buddy. You ain't gonna be drinking pina coladas here. So you gotta fall, they gotta fall off. Just like everybody else gotta fall off. And that's not something everybody's talking about or thinking about. But it's just common sense. It's just in order for this whole country to fall, everybody gotta fall. You see how much gotta happen? So all this stuff you see going on right now, as far as black people go, they got to go. They got to fall. You see the job the prophet got to do? The prophet got to bust bubbles. I got to bust your little bubbles. You thought you was about to do something, you ain't about to do nothing. You see this country out here? You see all this going on? You ain't about to do nothing, buddy. That means black people ain't about to get no movements going. Ain't none of that stuff about to happen. If you pay attention, you can feel it. There's nothing coming. There's nothing new coming. Now, am I going to predict when the end of the world? I don't predict the end of the world. You'll never see me make that mistake. Because the Bible says no one knows the day or the hour when the Lord shall return. Nobody knows the hour nor the day. So as soon as you have somebody start trying to predict that, that's a false prophet. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not Nostradamus at all, buddy. So I ain't gonna be predicting this and predicting that and trying to predict this and predict that and all this stuff and all no. But I'll tell you one thing. Black people gotta fall. And that's all there is to it. I mean, you gotta say, as America falls, they gonna fall. But they don't think so. You'll find some that'll think that white people gonna fall off, and they gonna still be here. Make that make sense, bro? You don't run America, right? Okay, so how you gonna run America? You think you're gonna be able to do it? I'm gonna tell you why you're not gonna be able to do it. Because God is bringing down America. And that means when he brings down America, that means you get brought down too. You play with God's prophet, and you don't think I know. It's your dirty little secret. And you don't think I know your dirty little secret. You play with me out there to the community, but you try to stay low key to me, and it didn't work, buddy. It didn't work. So as America falls, so shall you fall. That's how it goes. What you thought? Oh, you thought you just magically just make it. You and your kids will just magically make it. Not gonna happen. That's why the suffering that is to come, people have not measured the suffering. And this is one of the main reasons you shall suffer, because you've killed your own people. And you trivialize that. You'll trivialize that. But you, do you think God trivialized it? Sorry, buddy. You're not in the range. You're not in the same position. You're not in the same position that your ancestors was in. Your ancestors was in a position of fighting for what's right, and you're not in the position of fighting for what's right. No, you're not. Not collectively. You got a few good men out there, but that's not going to be sufficient to save you. What God is going to do is look at the overall state of your community. Okay? It's going to be determined by what's going on usually. You know what's going on usually? I'm pretty sure you can figure out what's going on usually. Okay, so, but based on what's going on usually, that's what's going to determine what's going to happen to you. And I'm pretty sure you can kind of figure that all out. While you were being biased, God was not. While you were being biased, God was not being biased. While you were doing what white supremacists do and lifting yourself up so high, God is about to bring you down real low. That's how it works. It's called karma. And no man, no color of people can get away from it. So you could be popular among each other, be cool among each other. Not going to get away from karma. Not going to get away. Because on one hand, you're trying to fight for what's right. A little bit of people, right? On the other hand, when you put the scales, which one you think weighs the most? You doing what's right as black people, or doing what's wrong as black people? It weighs more down. The wrong you do, all the killing, it weighs down. So when you blind your eyes and weigh the scales, you've done way too much for you to make it. You got one side over here where you try to do what's right a little bit, but all the killing of children, all the killing of black people, it weighs way down over here, buddy. I hate to tell you. That's how it is. And there's not going to be any manipulation. See, everybody say keeping it 100, but they're not keeping it 100 about all that killing. They're not keeping it 100 about all these children being killed. And just because you don't see it on the news, listen, how naive are you? How you going to see all the news for every city on one channel? On one channel, you're going to see all the killings that happen every day. On one news channel, you're gonna see every killing in the city, in the country. No, you're not. I'm sorry to tell you. You're not gonna be able to see every killing that happens in the country, no. Okay? So it's a lot of killing going on that you're not conscious of. And your destiny is determined by that. Okay? So you could be biased, This is why the prophet comes and tell people to get themselves together. Because you could be biased towards each other. You could be biased towards black people, white people, Americans. It's not going to work. You're still going to face what you deserve to face, your judgment. Okay? So, that's where you are. That's where you really are. I call it the real weather. The real weather, besides being cool and trying to be cool with everybody, God, how he sees it, it's not how you see it, buddy. And that basically sums it up. He doesn't see it like you see it, where he's just letting you rock and letting you get away with things. But then you got the luxury of acting like you're fighting for what's right and you're fighting for some cause. You're not doing that, not collectively. So if you don't know any better, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna be judged based on what happens collectively by God. You're gonna be judged by God based on what you do as a community. Not a few good people over here fighting for what's right over there. It doesn't work like that, buddy. You're gonna be judged based on what you do as a community. And it's not good. See, once black people destroyed themselves, it was over. It's nothing to hold the judgment back. All you had to do was kill each other and kill your children. It's no reason to hold this judgment back. It's no reason. Tell me a reason. It's a complex that people have, just like white people have a complex about their community, that their community is so great and grand and dandy. It's black people that have that complex that think their community is so grand and dandy, right? It's called being a black supremacist or a white supremacist. I'm not either one. I'm not a white supremacist and I'm not a black supremacist. Because and I'm not an American supremacist. Anytime you put those things above everybody, you have to prove it. You have to make it make sense. You can't. You never will be able to. Because if you believe that you are original man and you believe that you are the chosen people, then explain all the killing. Explain killing your own children. You can't explain it intelligently. And so it's almost like, if everybody remember the Prince, the musician, it's like being an American Idol contestant in front of Prince. Prince is gonna be like, okay, let me see what you got. And he's gonna be like, no. Anybody that's a Prince fan know how Prince was, right? I went to a Prince concert. I went to see Prince live. For people that know me, they know that. I went to see Prince in a concert. So, God, it just looks at you and you're doing whatever you're doing. It's like, no. I got a few good men over here and you're like trying to perform in front of Prince. And I'm just using an analogy. Of course, God is greater than everyone, okay? But it's the sense of someone that's skilled, like Prince, and you're before him making a fool of yourself. And you're you're trying to show that you're an artist to Prince. You're trying to show Prince you're an artist. And it's almost like with witchcraft, with God's prophets, you're like a contestant from American Idol in front of Prince. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. All that psychological stuff, no, it's not gonna work. Watch this. See that stuff outside? You see all this community? That's spiritual power. You see the fasting? That's spiritual power. So it's like you're a contestant, an American Idol contestant in front of Prince, making a fool of yourself. With the little psychological stuff, it doesn't bother me. I don't care about it. Because I know as long as nothing's going on out here in reality, as long as you can't affect that, you're in deep crap, buddy. You're in deep crap. We can't affect what goes on out here, as you can see. So I'm not the smartest man in the world, right? If we can affect what goes on out here, don't you think eventually what goes on out there is going to get you? What goes on out there is going to get you. Eventually. Even if you just work witchcraft or psychological stuff, ultimately what goes on out there is going to catch up to you. That's the idea. That's actually the idea. That all these things that's going on out there will eventually catch up with the Americans. That's the idea. Playtime is over, buddy. The idea is all these things going on in the world eventually will catch up to this community, not the government only. See, in the last days of Earth, everybody thought it would be the government and we will be a rebellious force against the government. That's not how it happened. You know how it happened? In actuality, the government, the community is just as bad as the government. The community is just as filthy as the government. That's why you have nowhere to run. Because what God is going to look at is while these Americans are talking like they're so righteous because this little woman that got killed, the bottom line is your community is just as corrupt and filthy as the government. This is what people didn't anticipate in the last days. They thought we would be some Matrix-like force with Neo and Morpheus and Trinity and Tank. That's not how it is. You know how it is? This community out there is just as funky and filthy as the government to me. So it didn't go as planned. It did not go as planned because the government, the community is just as filthy. They're just as evil. They kill each other. They kill children. Black people kill children in the community. They kill each other. The reality of what we were not anticipating is that the community became just as bad as the government. Look at all the stuff they're doing. The gang stalking and everything. That settles it. You're just as filthy and worthy of death as the government. So unlike these other people, the conspiracy theorists that's always harping on the government, I'm looking at, if you notice, I don't really talk about the government per se. I just talk about the Americans. It's a big difference. And maybe you thought I was just referring to the government. I'm referring to the Americans. I'm referring to the whole collective community. It's not just the government, no it ain't. I don't care what all they doing. I don't care the fullness of what they're doing. It's not just them doing this stuff. It is corrupt, filthy Americans that are community people that ain't got nothing to do with the government. You ain't got no government job. You are not part of the government. And you're just as funky and filthy in the way you think than the government. The only difference is you don't have a badge. You don't have a government job. That's the only difference. And so in reality, the only thing that's good is God's people, like it should be. Hallelujah, glory to his name. The only thing that's good, so to speak, is God's people through Christ Jesus, through the cleansing of our sins, through his blood. That's the only thing that's good. Other than that, listen to that out there. Ain't none of that good. So, it's a lost cause. It's a lost cause. It's no need to try to fight for something that is not good. Okay? It's no need to fight for something that is filthy. This is how you know it's the end, because there's no need to fight for something that is no longer any good. Okay? And that's basically what it is. Okay, so all the psychological games, this is how these people want to go. That's how they want to go. And we hate them just like they hate us. But except we use healthy hate, because healthy hate is going to be more productive. Healthy hate is to protest, to boycott, to repel, and to refrain from embracing. We don't embrace the Americans. We repel them. We boycott them. We protest them as a collective community. It's what it is. I guess you thought I was playing the game. Okay, I'm not playing the game. Do it look like we playing a game? See, that part right there is going to get swallowed up in the realness. This realness that's about to happen. That little stupid stuff they doing out there. I mean, for those who are still entertaining that, I mean, you got to be so special, kind of fly guy, right? The retarded type of fly guy, right? But most of us have moved on to the real world, this realness, you know what I'm saying? Like Maduro, like the internet being cut off in Iran. And Iran is rebelling like never before. In a country where we all know they're quick to kill for violations. Any violations. And the people are rebelling, they don't care. It's almost like once they got the internet cut, it got worse. So that's going on right now. And it's unrest over there right now. They don't even have the internet. See, I knew eventually the internet's gonna get cut. I don't know what people gonna do that depend on the internet for a sense of livelihood. I just do these videos now. And I don't mean this in a funny way. It's a good pastime, spiritual pastime for me. The pastime by, especially when I'm fasting. And I do it for God's people and for people outside of America. You know, I don't really do it for an American audience. That wouldn't make sense. I do it for people that's not a part of America. I wouldn't do it for people that's just deciding to go back over there with the Americans. You know, so I can be without the internet. I can be without all this stuff. I do it for the right reasons. I use the internet like I'm supposed to, and I have the discipline to not be a part of it or not need it. And a lot of people are gonna be broken. You know how many people are gonna crash out when there's no more internet? If there's no more internet. I'm not saying it's gonna happen necessarily, but it could. If it does, so many people gonna crash out just from the internet. Right now in Iran, they crashing out. That's part of it. Since the internet gone, they're more angry. Phones gone, internet gone, they're even more angry. You can see it, man. It's not gonna go backwards. For people who think the world is gonna go backwards, you living in the dream world, little buddy. Show me in history where the world went backwards. Well, there was distinguished evil in the world and a certain form of pandemonium, like now, chaos and pandemonium, right? Show me a past time in history that was similar in how it reversed back to like a different time or a peaceful time. Show me that. Like the Great Depression, or those things are not even comparable, because with the Great Depression and things like that, that wasn't the mentality of the people. That was a condition of the finances and the jobs and the economy. That was a condition of the economy, not a condition of the people. What you're up against now is a condition of the people as opposed to a condition of the economy. Because what you'll say is, oh, we'll bounce back like the Great Depression. You'll bounce back from a bad condition of people? No, you won't. You see where we at, right? The better question is, show me a time where the condition of the people was bad. The way they thought, the hearts of the people was bad, and then they went back good. They went back to whatever. Show me that in history. That's all I'm asking. And you can't show me in history where the people were bad, the condition of the people, and then they went back to good. Just like like a light switch. Oh, we're back good now. Show me in history where the people kill their own children, like black people killing their own children. Show me where people killed each other and killed their own children, and then things went back to normal. That is normal. That is the normal. See, the mystery is that this is the new normal. That is normal out here. So whatever you thought, whatever else is gone, and that's what's normal. That's the average day out there. That's the average normality out there. There's nothing else. There's nothing else, buddy. So somewhere along the way, people changed. That's what happened. You can't accept it, can you? See, your type of people, whether you black or white or whatever color you are, you're going to be left behind. You're going to be so surprised when people are running out in the streets and they can't get away and there's no escape. This is how it's supposed to feel. This is the end. There's no going back to normal, because this is normal. So how you gonna go back to what is already? This is understanding changes in time. You know, it's understanding time, it's measuring time itself. Because you can't measure time if you don't accept reality. Makes sense? If you don't measure reality, you can't measure any time. You can't even start. It's like, to be a rocket scientist, you have to understand math. To understand changing in reality, changes in time, you have to understand reality. And here's the thing. You got to accept reality on the reality's terms, which means you can't suppress the truth that you're killing each other and you're killing, because when you go to look at reality and measure time, you don't have any method of gauging it properly, because you're not accepting reality on reality terms. It doesn't mean it can't change. But in this case, it won't. It's too far gone. This is what happens when a culture gets out of control and it just goes haywire. Usually, like in a civilization like Rome or Egypt, it usually kind of happens among the powerful people, and the oppressed people just kind of remain the same. But in this case, in America, the arrogance came from also the oppressed. Those who are oppressed, they became arrogant and evil and start killing their own children and everything like that. It wasn't just the government. And that's what a lot of people don't accept either. They want to blame the government. But even if you fix the government, you still got crazy black people. You can fix the government all day long and give money to people, and it's not going to fix America. It's not. That's how you know it's the end. Now see, if you can't measure reality, you can't measure time going ahead. You can't measure it because you're biased and you're in denial. That's another good word. You're in denial about reality. As long as you like that, how can you know what's going to go on? Because you're the person that's suppressing reality and you're biased about it. You can't measure reality. You can't measure time. You can't measure where we're going. You can't do anything. That's why it's important to just, no matter how bad it feels, is to accept the truth on truth terms. It's because in order to change it, you first got to accept it, so to speak. You got to acknowledge what it is. To solve a problem, you have to admit that there's a problem. If you don't act like it's a problem, you ain't gonna solve it. If you don't have a math problem in front of you, and you think you just have social studies, where the white people are just wrong, but it's mathematics in front of you. You're in math class where you're supposed to solve problems, math problems. But you think you're in social studies where you just got to figure out what's wrong with these white people. No, you got to figure out what's wrong with these black people too. For whatever reason. It don't matter if white people made us like that. It don't matter who made us like this. It got to be figured out. Bottom line. And fixing white people ain't gonna fix the problem. Nope. Fixing white people is not gonna fix the problem because we know how we are. We're jealous of each other. We're envious of each other. We fight each other. We compete with each other. We harm each other. Okay, so fixing white people ain't gonna fix the problem. People jealous of each other. As soon as you see people, you're just jealous of them. You know, white people ain't gonna fix the problem. See, if you understood spiritual mathematics, you would understand that. See, in spiritual mathematics, when you have a problem, you have a problem. Okay? And you can go over here and try to fix this problem in spiritual mathematics, but you're still going to have this same problem sitting in front of you. Like a kid that can't get past the problem, don't understand it, you're going to sit there and look at it. You're going to sit up there and look at the same mathematical problem. You're going to sit there and look at it until you realize, I have to solve this to move forward. I'm not going to pass this test if I don't solve this problem. See that part? I'm not going to pass this test in reality if I don't solve this problem. And I can go to the white people problem. Let's just say you're in spiritual mathematics, right? In a class. You solve all the problems with white people, all the problems with humanity. But you got one last problem. Or let's just say a section. You solve the white mathematics, mathematically speaking, if that's a word. You solve the white people's problems. You got that section down. Now you get to the black people, the section. You fail miserably. You know why? Because you're not solving any problems. So when it comes to spiritual mathematics of life, you solved all the problems with white people. But then when it comes to your part, you haven't solved it. It's no way around it. So you're just going to sit there at that section. Even though you solved the white part, you haven't solved the black part. And it ain't going to get no better until you do. It's not going to get any better. You're going to sit right there and look at these problems and just sit there. And that's what people are doing. Basically, black community is just sitting at the black section of the spiritual mathematical problems. Of the spiritual mathematics. And you're just sitting there. And you're not going to solve the problems. I promise you not. Because you refuse to be unbiased about the problems that's in the black community to solve the problems. You're not going to do it. Okay? You're not going to do it. Okay, so you solved the white section. You've solved the finances. You've solved every other problem. But that does not make you pass the test. You're still not going to pass the test. The only way you're going to pass the test is if you solve the problems. The problems in the black community. And it's not going to happen. So it's no need to sit here and act like they're going to go forward and do these great and grand things when they haven't solved their whole problems. Because if we give you more money, you're still going to kill each other. You're still going to kill each other. Like I explained it like this. If we pass out checks to all the Americans, $2,000 checks, it's still going to be people that want to take your money, that person, other person's money. They're going to want to take all these other people's money. Right? It's never going to be good enough for them to get $2,000 a month and live off that. So if the government did pass out $2,000 a month per person, I guarantee you it's not going to change the country. And see, these white people starting to realize it. No matter what we do, it's not going to change the country. This is how cool everybody got lost in being cool. Now it's gone. Now cool is gone and people just off all the time. Smoking weed, drinking and everything like that. Okay? So it doesn't matter what you do for the community, it's not going to change. That's how you know it's the end. Because with all grand plans you come up with, the greatest plan would be, okay, to hand out money, right? To hand out $2,000, to hand out thousands of dollars. Even if you did that, and it ain't gonna happen, but let's just say you did, it ain't gonna change the people. The people still gonna be at each other's neck. Black people gonna still be killing each other. So even if we did get our way, in other words, which everybody's insinuating more money. Basically, that's the insinuation. It goes without saying. The insinuation is more money, right, for the people. Okay, so let's just cut to the chase. If you do give them more money, they're not gonna change. It's still gonna be killing. It's still gonna be people scheming on each other. You can give people all the money and they still not gonna change. Because let's just say you even do like $4,000 just to make sure a person gets housing. Because most housing is like between 2 and 3 actually. So let's just say 4,500 a month, right? I guarantee you there's gonna be people and their whole hustle is to get everybody's $4,500. To get everybody's $4,500. That's gonna be they hustle. To get that money out here in these streets. They know everybody getting them checks. And it's not good enough that they get $4,500. That's not good enough. Even though you can live off of it. Let's just say maybe you can get food stamps in there with the $4,500. You can't beat it. For a person that just wants to live, a person that's not greedy, you can't beat it. You got $4,500, you got food stamps. Okay, I'm cool, I'm content. Not people out there. They gonna wanna take your money and the next man's money. And that $4,500 is not gonna be enough. They don't want it to be enough. So it's greed among ourselves that's not gonna change. So even if you gave people $4,500, I guarantee you they're gonna be robbing each other for it. I guarantee you that. So then let's just cut to the chase without waiting to see, think ahead, okay? And you can see the mentality of the people and you can see, all right, it was no need for me to sit here and wait for this because it's not going to change the people. It was no need for me to think about this because it's not going to change the people anyway. Everybody's complaining about money. That's the main thing, right? Especially these days. Okay, so if we did give everybody money, it's not going to change the people. Because all it's going to do is create more of a problem, more of a hustle. Now the hustle is to get everybody's money. For hustlers, for con men, for thieves. It ain't going to make it better. Like, okay, now you got money, now we're all good. No, it's going to flare it up. Where now, people going to sit back and think, how can I get other people's money? How can I get that $4,500? And where people even be scheming through the system that does it to take it off the top, just like they do with food stamps. They starting to steal food stamps. Some people been stealing food stamps. So, off the card. It's done happened to everybody. Somebody done got me before. And they gave me the money back. You know what I'm saying? So, I done had people steal money from me on the EBT and everything. But, so what you need to realize is that it's not going to get better with money. Because even if they did give more money, it's going to be people that's going to take that money from other people. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. So it's no need to sit here and act like money is the solution. Money is not even the solution anymore. That's how bad the people are. It's not even the solution. The only solution, people don't actually entertain it, so it doesn't matter. This is how it's supposed to feel. It's supposed to feel hopeless. It's supposed to feel like this because that's part of it. It's not going to be, oh, we feel full of hope in the last days, in the final hours of the world. We're not going to feel full of hope. Okay, we're not going to feel full of joy and hope and all of this stuff. You're not going to feel any of that. Okay, I mean, in Christ, you can have joy, you can have happiness, but there's hope for the future. Like Tupac said, the truth is there is no hope for the future. You know how he figured that out? Because you look ahead and you look at the mentality right now and you apply the progression of that mentality and you realize it's no hope. Because as that mentality progresses, how is it going to get better? That's all you got to figure it out. That's all you got to do to figure it out. You look at the present mentality and progress that, right? It's not going to get better. It's no need to sit here and act like it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what smart men going to do. They going to think that's how they can predict things. They can predict accurately too. A lot of times, people don't give it as much credit as it deserves. A lot of these economists and all these people that predict all this different stuff, half of that be true because they just look at patterns. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to be too far, especially when it determines that human nature is involved in those equations. It's not going to be too far from these estimations. And just like I'm talking about, it's not going to be too far from these estimations. And what I'm talking about, if you give people more money, let's say that's the estimation, or that's what we talking about. You give people more money, my estimations about how it's going to be received is not going to be too far from that. It's not. If you give the whole country money, that's how you know it's gone. If you give everybody money, is that going to be the solution? Yes or no? I mean, I'm not saying enough money to be rich. And that's the problem. Everybody want to be rich. I'm saying enough money to survive off of decently, like $4,500 and some food stamps, right? If you did that and people had $4,500, I guarantee you they'd be blowing that money and everything and be doing all kinds of stuff, be all out on the street with $4,500, getting robbed and everything. Because people gonna go to the streets doing drugs and be in the motels. Motels gonna be ran over. Because you can about stay in a motel for about $4,500 a month. About that, yeah. Especially a motel, yeah. You can stay about a motel for about $2,000 a month, right? So about half that. They gonna use the other half for whatever. Tricking on these people, females, whatever. Shooting at people, buying guns. You're gonna have enough to buy guns, everything. You see, that's all that's gonna get worse. People be buying guns, way more guns with the money. The only reason people don't have guns is because of money. That's the only reason. You ask the streets. Why you ain't got a gun right now? Because you ain't got no money. That's the only reason. If you had $4,000, you gonna take and go get a gun with that one month. at some point, you gonna take that $4,000 and go get a gun. And once the streets know you got that $4,000, they gonna charge about half of it to get something, because they know that's gonna be the hustle. You know what I'm saying? They gonna charge about half of that, or they gonna give you some kind of deal to get about half of it. You know what I'm saying? Two for 2,000. Something you can't deny, something you won't. You know, it'll be just more because of the mentality. Money don't make the world better. It's not gonna make the world better. You know what I'm saying? It's not. That's what people don't understand. People think, oh, if we got more money, the world would be. No, it wouldn't. The world wouldn't be better because the mentality of the people ain't better. So if I give you more money, you're gonna do the same thing you're doing right now. If you smoke weed, you're gonna get a pound of weed. You're gonna stay smoked out. If you're drunk, you're gonna stay drunk. You're gonna always have a fifth in your hand. All the time. If you smoke too many cigarettes, you're gonna be buying a carton of cigarettes. You're gonna be chain smoking all the time. And if your vice is women, you're gonna be tricking off on these women in the hotel, like I was talking about. You're gonna be tricking off on these females. And if you're a thug, you're gonna be buying guns and all that. That's what you're gonna be doing. That's what you're gonna be doing. And if $4,000, you're gonna be buying weight and cocaine. That's what everybody gonna be doing. Think about it. If I give you $45,000, if I give you $4,500 a month, you're gonna go get weight and cocaine. Most likely, you're gonna go get a lot of crack, and you're gonna get good deals because everybody gonna know that money coming in. You're gonna get good deals, and you're gonna flip that money. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna take that money and get money off of it. And then next month, however good you did, you're gonna still take that money right there and do the same thing. You're gonna just let that be your re-up money, no matter how good you do for the month. And that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have buku drugs. You're gonna have buku guns. Everybody gonna be selling weight. Think about it. But it's gonna be more treacherous. More money, the more treacherous it's gonna be. That's the more vultures. You know what I'm saying? That's just common sense. So when you look at the mindset of the people, everybody think money is the solution. No, it's not. Look at the people. Money ain't the solution. Money is not the solution. That's how you know it's no hope. Because the money ain't the solution. If money ain't the solution to help for a good person, money is the solution for me. Shoot, if I could go and get away from these ignorant people and go live somewhere better, man, I ain't gonna do no crimes. I ain't even probably gonna have no weapon on me all the time. I keep one though, but just ready to hurt somebody, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna be in a different mentality. We stay like this because we among ignorant people. That's why you can't be. It's a double-edged sword because it's like, okay, even though I'm not ignorant, I gotta be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? To survive, I gotta be a dangerous person. I gotta be ready to hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? At the drop of a hat. Not if I get mad enough. No, I gotta be ready to hurt somebody at the drop of a hat. That's how I am. But if I was removed from it, money gonna make me better because I'm gonna be removed from ignorance. And I'm gonna be a better person. I'm gonna function. I ain't gonna be thinking about street politics. I ain't gonna be thinking about the streets and having to have to hurt somebody at the drop of a hat. I ain't gonna be thinking about it because I ain't gonna have to deal with it. Not as often. Not as often. Not at the drop of a hat. So some people will get better with money. You know what I'm saying? Some people won't. Some people will get $4,500. They're going to go to the streets, literally, and figure it all out. They got cash. They'll get all that money and just go to the streets. They can catch cabs. They got a phone. They gonna get off the streets because they got money. Even if they got to give somebody else some money to get off the streets. I mean, a street person go to the street. They can just go to the streets for $4,500. Go out there and find a way and just sit there and probably drink them a beer and figure it out. Sit there and drink them a beer. Okay, what I'm gonna do? I can go get me a motel room right now. I might just do that for the night. Just count my money and think about what I'm gonna do next. You know what I'm saying? You might hook up with some old friends or a good friend or a trusting friend and let them know where you at, let them know what you're doing. Let them know how much money you got, and you can hang out with your friend and figure it out from there, right? But they gonna just go to the streets and just figure it all out, you know. That's what they gonna do. There's some people, if you give them enough money, I'm trying to show you because subconsciously everybody's thinking if we had enough money, it would be a better community. No, it wouldn't. So it's hopeless because the actual solution for a good person is not the solution for this country. You know, if you put enough money in everybody's hand, it's not gonna be the solution. All you're gonna have is more party. If more than anything, people are gonna be partying more, way more. You get 4,500, man. First thing you're going to do, most people out here in these streets is gonna get them a pack of cigarettes and get them a beer. A beer first, starting out with a beer. You know what I'm saying? That's real. Come on, that's real. You go in the store, get you a beer, get you a pack of cigarettes. You still got $4,500. You know what I'm saying? You still got $4,000. You just gonna drink you a beer. You ain't gonna get too drunk yet. You ain't gonna go get a fifth as soon as you get. I mean, maybe some months you might, but let's just say, on average month. I'm just showing you how street people are. You gonna go in there and get you a pack of cigarettes. Get you a new lighter, just because. Get you a new lighter, you know, because when we got excessive money, we just gonna do excessive things, okay? I might have a lighter, but I'm just giving me another lighter. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm gonna be smoking this weekend. I'm just giving me another lighter, okay? I'm gonna give me a beer. It's gonna look simple in the beginning, and until I dig into the money, then I'm gonna get reckless. At the beginning, I'm cool. Okay, I'm gonna get a pack of cigarettes. I'm gonna get me a beer. Boom. As soon as you hit that beer, start smoking a cigarette, boom, you gone. You off to the races. Now you're gonna go in the store and get your fifth. No, yeah, you're gonna get your fifth and get you something to eat. You ain't gonna drink the fifth yet. You done had the beer, but you're gonna get you a fifth. Now you're gonna go get you some Chinese food. You're gonna get you something to eat. You're gonna eat good. You're gonna drink that fifth. Now you're ready to party, right? Now you're thinking about, well, okay, I can get me a room. I'm gonna just get me a room just so I can just have time to think for a couple days. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me a room for a couple days. That's what the smart person, even the street person, gonna do. Okay, because if I just stand around here, I might see somebody from the past. The next thing you know, I'm splurging, flexing, a little bit of both. And it's a lost cause because this person ain't got no love for me, but I'm over here flexing and hanging out with this person and drinking with this. So, smart thing to do is I'm gonna just get off the streets. Boom. I got a little bread on me. Let me get off the streets. I might get robbed. You know, some people might think that let me get this cash off me. Let me get off the streets while I'm still good so I don't blow this money. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll pass out and somebody take this money off of me. Because you can do that. You start getting money, you think it's all good, man, you start drinking too much, you fall out. All your money's gone. That can happen to you. Smart thing to do, I'm gonna go get me a room. I'm gonna go get me a room and think about what I'm gonna do with this money. I'm talking about in the beginning when you first start getting the money, right? Boom. Okay, I'm gonna go to the room, chill, you know what I'm saying? Watch a little TV. And just think about what I'm gonna do. I might have a home girl I can call to come through. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. But then I'd rather chill with the homies. I can get my mind together better. I'm gonna just blow this money with this female. I'd rather just kind of chill with the homies. At least, you know what I'm saying, like the first couple nights or whatever. You come out better chilling with the homies the first night than the female. Female gonna keep making you think about spending that money. Let's buy this, let's buy that. Can you buy me some shoes? Can you buy me a, you know what I'm saying? And if you're a good person, you're gonna be thinking about buying her stuff anyway. You're gonna be thinking about buying her some stuff. Not even tricking off. You just gonna be spending money on her. You know what I'm saying? So it's better. I wouldn't even chill. I wouldn't even get with a female the first night. First night, I just do me. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of chill and do me. And go from there. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of do me, pamper myself, eat real good. You know what I'm saying? Lay down, relax. You know what I'm saying? Just have some time to think about what I really want to get. But most people gonna get guns. I'm telling you, the first thing you're gonna get. The reason why the streets is the way it is, because people ain't got no money. First thing you're gonna get, if you got money, over a couple $1,000, you're gonna get you a gun. Right or wrong. That's how a street person gonna think. First thing, if I get over $2,000, I'm getting a gun. That's it. These days, especially if I get 4,500, I'm definitely getting a gun. Definitely. And whatever I got left, it is what it is. Like that. It is what it is, whatever I got left. That's how you gonna look at it. A street person, well, you know, I'm good. Give me some pizza. I got me a gun. Give me a little pizza. Give me a little fifth. I got me a gun. Give me a little pizza. Give me something to eat. You know what I'm saying? That's enough for me. You just glad to have your little pizza. Got your little gun. Got your little pizza. Whatever. But that's it. That's how That's how it is. So it ain't gonna change. Cause people get money, it ain't gonna change. That's how you know it's hopeless. It's the man of God is the one that changed the people. That's why we get so much respect from the politicians, because we the only ones gonna change the people. People ain't gonna change on their own. They ain't gonna change on themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the jungle. We the only character that can change these people in the jungle. We the only ones. You know, nobody else can do it. Nobody else is gonna do it. All the government can do is throw money at you and throw laws at you. If you get out of line, they can't change your moral state. All they can do is punish you to make you feel like, well, if I do that, I'm gonna be punished. But I might not necessarily change. You know, I'm gonna try to find a way around it, or I'm gonna take chances. So punishment really doesn't change everybody. It doesn't change the people. Not even punishment. So God's people, we the one change the people. That's why we get respect from the government. In many cases, in different countries, we're gonna get respect because the politician gonna realize, I can't change these people. No, I can't change them. All I can do is hand out laws and punishment. That's all I can do. And money. But none of those things are gonna change the people. We put out more money. We put out more punishment, laws to permit people to do things. People are still not gonna change. So we respect this guy that dedicates his life to changing the people. And so that's why, you know, an idiot don't realize this, because he hasn't even put society together as a whole in his mind. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even put it all together yet. He ain't came to that point in his life. When you do, you'll realize, oh, I didn't realize. So it's the religious people that actually change the people for the better. No one else. And you begin to have respect. That's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Especially black people, because we see all the changes in the hood, right? You're gonna respect a man to take his time to talk to these people that's out there doing all this killing and all this stuff that's in the hood. You're gonna respect this man. He the only one. The government ain't coming down there. The government's not coming down there. The only person that's down there is this preacher. And on top of that, he feeding the people and helping the people. So this is why, see, white America, the weirdos that's like witchcraft people, they don't, because it all comes back to not coming from the same place. for why these people act the way they do. Because if you was from the hood, you will see, okay, this man, even though I'm not a Christian, he actually is feeding the people. He's actually, so I can't be a bozo. That's real life. That woman right there got 3 kids. So even though I might not be a Christian, I'm not a cornball where I don't respect that. Where he just fed that woman and put money in that woman's pocket. See, that's how the streets, the ghetto, the real ghetto gonna look at it. You know, even though I might be caught up in my own ways and things like that, I'm gonna still respect what I just seen that man do. He fed this woman with her kids. She got 3 kids. He gave her enough money for her kids and food. Sometimes pastors do it out of their own pocket. Not government. Not the government funded them or whatever. They take money out their own. Sometimes they work jobs. Preachers work jobs, regular jobs, right? You know, and they're not in full-time ministry. They'll take money out their own pocket to feed people and their families, right? And so if you're a clown from the suburbs that use witchcraft, you're gonna oppose this person, right? But a thug that's a killer that'll eat you for breakfast is gonna respect this same person because, you know, he sees the good that this preacher's doing to the community. So that's why, if you don't know why, besides creed and doctrine, why the hood respects preachers is because they are active out here helping the community. They're surrounding the community. And so a white boy that come from the suburbs would try to oppose this person. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you know who ghetto and who's part of the real jungle. Because people that's really part of the jungle gonna say, ain't nobody touching this preacher right here. This preacher helped my mama. You know what I'm saying? This preacher helped us when we ain't had no food. I'll shoot you and kill you because you're from the suburbs. You're a nobody to me. I'll kill you and this preacher's gonna live. You're a nobody. I don't care about you. That's how the streets gonna tell you. This person helped my mama. You know what I'm saying? He been helping us since we was since I was in the 6th grade or something. You know what I'm saying? So, and who are you? Oh, a person that don't like Christians. I don't care about that part. I care about him helping me, helping my mama, helping me, and I'll kill you and you can go to the grave. You can go right to the grave. Because you're a devil without a cause. That's how we see you. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's the difference. You know, people from the suburban community don't really connect to life. They don't even know what Christianity, why it gets so much respect from black people. That's why. You thought it was just a preacher. No, they out here active. They're out here active. They're out here feeding the people. The Freemasons ain't doing it. The Freemasons ain't getting it in like us. More times than not, it's the Christians that's out here feeding America. It's the Christians that's out here making ends meet for families when school time starts, giving kids school supplies and backpacks and stuff. Who's doing that? More than anybody all around the country. Christians are gonna be all out here. So see, so for a suburban boy that's in the suburban land, that's not in the real jungle, he doesn't see any of these things. Now go to the ghetto and ask them, oh yeah, the preacher be out here, man, handing out food and money, and you know what I'm saying? Sometimes he helped the kids during Christmas time, even and all of that, right? I'm just saying, I'm talking about the real ghetto. That they do celebrate Christmas. Okay, we educated, and you know, you might not celebrate Thanksgiving, whatever. But we talking about the ghetto, right? Okay, so you know, this dude hand out clothes and things like that during Christmas and everything, and try to make sure people have meals on Thanksgiving. Okay, you think the hood gonna let you play with that man? You know what I'm saying? When they seen night and day difference, just like the streets. They gonna feel like it's just like the street, like it's a come up. You know what I'm saying? They gonna feel that feeling. You know what I'm saying? From nothing to something. You know, if you ain't never had that feeling, you don't know what I'm talking about. Where at the beginning of the day you had nothing, at the end of the day you sitting back like a fat rat, right? Okay, so that preacher gonna make you feel that feeling, right? You think the hood gonna let some bozos that's just stuck on some creed that they got against this person, and some little retarded creed that they got, and they gonna go play with this person that's helping everybody? You think they gonna let them do it? No. They'll put one right in your head. That's what I'm saying. So you don't know, like now you know, if you're not from any parts of the street, now you know why. It's not just creed. It's because besides creed, you know, these are the only people out here that's really helping. Muslims ain't out here feeding the people. No, they not. No, they not. Muslims don't do it either. Muslims ain't out here feeding America. No, they not. That's why that we demand so much respect. They not out here, they ain't out here clothing the people and helping the homeless people. No, they walk right past the homeless people. They don't even look at them in their face. You know what I'm saying? A Christian might see you on the streets and walk past you and ask you, do you need something? That's the difference. All these other religions, they gonna just walk past you. Like they feel like it's you need to find out what you did wrong. A Christian gonna say, well, besides what you've done wrong, you need help today. How can I help you today? Even though obviously you made bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? Am I gonna penalize you and hold that against you today? No, I see your needs today, and that's obvious to me. We have more of a sense of humanity than other religions. How can I prove that? With the works, the activity that we do. You know what I'm saying? Other religions don't have a sense of humanity. Okay, so why they ain't meeting the needs of humanity? Ain't none of these Muslims out here active, feeding the people, helping the people. All they gonna do is sit up with their creed and talk about their creed. That go for the black Muslims too. All they gonna do is sit up and talk about their creed and whatever and all this stuff and all this information. And they can walk right past homeless people. They can walk right past poor people. They can walk right past a crying mother and don't do nothing about it. They ain't gonna do nothing about it. They ain't gonna say nothing about it. They gonna say in essence, she needs to learn what she needs to do in life to make it. Something to that effect. You know what I mean? A Christian is gonna go ask that mother, how can I help you? I already see you in a jam. I see you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk to him like a human being. How can I assist you today? What can I do for you? So while you think, ironically, it's me that lack humanity, it's your whole community. I can show you all these other religions. I can show you, even if people had their way and their religion was on top, or their creed, let's just say witchcraft people, they wouldn't even take care of the people. These witchcraft people, no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. Because they ain't, how I know, because they ain't doing it now. You would only be doing, the punchline is, from all I talked about, even them, you will only be doing what you're doing now. That's the mystery. You ain't gonna change too much. If you get money or you get power, you're gonna be basically doing what you're doing now. That's why before you get it, you gotta be a certain way. Like me, I'm helping people now. So if I get more money, that's what I'm gonna be doing. And that's why God promotes me. Because I'm gonna be doing more of what I'm doing right now. And so will you. If you out here using witchcraft and everything, all you're gonna be doing is doing more of that. More people doing it, more crazy witchcraft community, burning candles all together, bugged out together. That's all you're gonna be doing. Walking around more of the same thing, basically. That's just common sense. Why would you just stop? Most people are not. Most humans are not gonna stop what they was doing. You're gonna be doing more of the same thing. These witchcraft people don't feed the community. That's what I want you to look at. All these mind readers and psychics, they act like they got solutions, but they do not meet the needs of humanity right today, right now. No, they don't. I'm gonna respect the person that's looking at humanity today. Not even the cops riding around all that. Nah, you're not helping humanity. You're just a part of the government handing out laws and dishing out sentences and charges and things. That's all. You're not making it better. You're not making it better. Don't mistake cops handing out laws and arresting people as making it better. I don't agree with it. Not now. It ain't making it better. I don't feel that way. I feel that it's a balance. They part of the problem too. I can show you where they part of the problem. I don't got no love for them. No, they part of the problem. So they not feeding nobody either. They not helping. They can walk past people and not help them and everything, and they can point people in the right direction. Sometimes they just ride past people. They could stop, and ain't no precinct ain't gonna ask them why they stopped to help somebody. They ain't gonna say that. They ain't gonna. Their captors ain't gonna say, well, you shouldn't have did that. They're not gonna say that, but they ride past people. The police ride right past people, and they could stop and put people in the right, point people in the right direction. Or they could go into a store and buy them a hot meal. They got money to eat for themselves. Think about it. I figure the police institution gives them a certain sustenance to eat off of. Think about it. They ain't gonna have them out there on fumes, not eating. No, of course. So they gonna have them where they got a little card or something. They could just buy food all during the week. You know what I'm saying? So they could just buy you a meal. A cop ain't gonna do that. A cop is not gonna do that. You gotta be almost dying. You gotta almost be dying in the murder, and then they'll call the police the ambulance. They ain't gonna give you no meal if you just on the streets. No. You gotta almost be dead. They might buy you some water, and the cop might buy you some water, maybe a little sandwich or something like that. That's probably it. So they're not part of the solution. You can't let people fool you. The only people that's bringing solutions is God's people, Christians. We got that credibility. Cops don't got that credibility. Witchcraft people don't got that credibility. Illuminati, Freemasons, none of them don't have no credibility for helping the community. They're not out there. All they can do is tell you they donate to charities. That's not enough. And then sometimes you find out these charities are misusing the money or not using it like you would want them to. We out here directly helping the people. Christians. Show me Freemasons are not out here. They're affiliated with different charities. And sometimes them charities are not hands-on with the community anyway. So what if you in the hood? You know what I'm saying? And a Freemason is given to some charities. That's not going to affect the hood. How the hood going to get a hold of that charity? So a lot of times Freemasons do stuff for show, to how they look. How they want people to make it. They want to look like they helping the community. They want to appear to help the community. But then when you go to the hood, right? How them charities going to help them people in the streets? Okay, it's gonna be the Christians down there in the trenches, all down there in the hood, handing out food right now somewhere in America. I guarantee you, it's Christians on a Friday night handing out food, helping people and everything. Right now, somewhere in America, I guarantee you that. I'm definitely sure about that. That never plays out. It's good-hearted Christians out there, and they ain't gonna never stop. And they out there right now handing out money to people, money sometimes. Money, food, all kind of stuff, clothes and everything. I done had it all happen. They hand out clothes, food, everything, money. Now, what these witchcraft people gonna do? Ride around bugged out. That's what they gonna do. Driving around bugged out. That's what they doing. So then you break everything down to who's the problem and who's the solution. And when you do that, we gonna always win. God gonna look at it in that equation. Why you think you should live? You're not even a part. You're not even a solution. When God sees us as a solution, I'm sending money to South America. I'm helping Christians. I'm helping other people that's helping other people. I'm helping other people that's helping other people. Okay? Speak for yourself. I speak for myself. I'm helping people. So when God looks at that, as far as humanity, right? While it seems like, oh, we are a problem to you, right? God is going to look at it and see that I'm helping other people and you're not. You're driving by people. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to who lives or dies, you die. That's the whole punchline. The person that is the solution is going to live. The person that's helping people going to live, which is the Christians. Everybody else is going to be falling off because you ain't helping nobody. You ain't even creating no good karma. That's why you don't got no good energy. That's why you don't got no love. That's why you ain't happy, because you ain't helping nobody. You got to have a balance. You got to help people when you can't afford to help people. That's how you're going to get your blessings. You can't help people when you can, only when you can. You ain't going to never get around to it. You got to help people as you live life on life terms in every situation. That's how you get your blessings. If you wait to try to bless people when you got it, you're missing the whole thing. You're missing the whole point. You got to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? You got to sacrifice and help people when you can't afford to help people. And that's when you stand out. That's when you get somebody doing the same thing for you, which is full circle to karma. You create the best karma. Now somebody gives you a hand up and pull you out of a situation because you was helping other people. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do that, how is that going to happen to you? That's what you're waiting for anyway. You're waiting for someone to take you to the next level in life. But how's it going to happen when you ain't doing nothing for nobody? So you got to sacrifice in that time when you got nothing in order for somebody to actually pull you out of it. So that you actually have the karma of that. So to have the karma of that, you got to sacrifice to do it just to have it for yourself. Where somebody helps you, right? But you first got to help somebody else, right? Right. But the trick thing is, at the beginning stage of karma, of good karma, you ain't got nothing to help nobody. So you're going to be doing a lot of sacrificing in order for your reciprocity and karma to be other people are helping me now. But at the beginning stage, you got to sacrifice and help other people. And then eventually somebody helps you, right? And then now you're able to still help people and without really sacrificing per se. It's not so much more of a sacrifice. And now you just creating good karma and people are still helping you. You got to keep that alive. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get out of your situations. See, the hood don't know how to get out. You get out by helping other people. You get out by helping God's people. You know what I'm saying? You get out by doing God's work. You know what I'm saying? And somebody gonna then give you an opportunity. Your karma gonna come. Where now somebody helping you. Now your family got out the hood and everybody else stuck. And they're like, why? Because that person, God gonna say that person was helping other people. The rest of y'all wasn't doing nothing. That's why, like me, I stand on my own. You know what I'm saying? I stand on my own for who I am and what I do. And if you're mad at me, you don't know what I do. You don't know the things I do. You don't know the sacrifices I made. You know what I'm saying? So I just treat you like an ignorant person that don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? That's just jealous. You know what I'm saying? Jealous for no good apparent reason. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the sacrifices I made. You know what I'm saying? To create this good karma that I got. You know what I'm saying? You're not making the sacrifices. Neither would you ever do it. You ain't gonna ever do it. You know what I'm saying? So how do I take that person seriously? I can't. You know, you have to realize, okay, you're on a different level of life. You just haven't got totally there yet, but your mind is already there. Like my mind is already on a different level of life. I shouldn't even be here physically in any situation like this. You know what I'm saying? Unlike other people, I'm not begging to be in the hood anymore. I'm good on that. Put me in Lower Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? Downtown. That's what I'm talking about. where I can shop in peace and I can be at peace for the most part. It don't mean I won't keep my head on the swivel. I'll always do that, but like I said, I won't be ready to hurt somebody at the drop of a hat. I'll be and then your energy change. I already know how I'll be, because I know me. Like I said though, you got to create that good karma. You got to create. Karma's not. When I was young, I thought karma was just like the word consequence. Consequence is good and bad, but we're taught. Most people use the word in America in their vocabulary, whether it's karma or consequence, only on the negative side. Like, there's good consequences. There's bad consequences. But if you just use the word consequence in American terminology, it's just used for negativity, bad karma, negative things. But you could say, oh, you had some consequences for that. You got good consequences for that. See, that's a higher vocabulary. Now you know that person is educated. When you start talking like that, good consequences, good karma, you're taught that karma's basically bad. That's your karma, and it's only put in the negative side of karma. But as I got older, I realized, karma is good. There's good karma and bad karma. Now you see, and you can be proactive about good karma. And so some people go hard creating good karma, and some people don't. And you just think that your good heart or soul is gonna make good karma for you. It don't work like that. You could be the best person in the world. You still gotta work. Just like you could be the best person in the world. You still gotta go out here and work. So it's the same thing with karma. You could be a great person, but you still gotta create good karma. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna be determined if it's gonna be based on, more times than not, the technicality of your works. What have you done? Because you would think that if you're such a good person, that your works is gonna bring you to do good things. Just like I said, the Christians are out here on the front line. They good heart bring them to do good things to the community and good things for the community. So that's why we create good karma. That's why I never judge the preacher like other people do, like looking at how much gold he got on and all of that. Do you know what this man do for the community? So his karma's good. That's what it is. I'm just one of those guys that was just not. I'm one of them dudes that is smart in the hood. You know how you got the smart dude in the hood and he just see things for what it is. I'm one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to everybody else looking at it differently. I'm gonna look at the preacher. The preacher got gold, got a lack. You know what I'm saying? Got some rims on the lack, everything. He got fresh clothes, he got gold, everything smell good, everything. Might even have a little gold in his mouth, right? And if somebody will misjudge that, like, because you want the preacher to look poor, that to you that equates humility. Humility is actions, and some people equate humility to an attitude. But it's not limited to an attitude. Humility, I can show you how I can be bold and humble, and I can show you how you can be quiet and proud. Even though you might have a disposition that look humble, you're a prideful person. Ask women, they date a quiet man. A quiet man still prideful and everything. So it don't matter if you kind of quiet and meek or lowly and everything like that. That's what people think is humble. But humble is really your actions. Humility is your actions. You know what I'm saying? And you still could be a man and walk up upright and walk around like a masculine man and be humble with your actions. You don't humble with an attitude. It puts a real man on eggshells. Like, I gotta walk around soft on people. You don't have to walk around soft to be a humble person. Your humility is your actions. That's what it is. Your humility is your actions. In all actuality, that's what it's gonna boil down to. You can have pride. You can have prideful actions or humble actions. It's not gonna be emotional or limited to emotion. So when it comes to karma, I'm going to be proactive. You know what I'm saying? And some people are more proactive than others. So then I'm going to have more reciprocity than the average man, because just like a farmer, I sowed way more seed than you sowed. I made a whole field. You decided to do a little orchard in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? I made acres and acres. I did acres of this. You did a little orchard in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned to be, the art of life is to be very proactive about good karma. You know what I'm saying? That's it's all in your hands. Once you realize you have control over it, man, you become a whole different animal. You have control over your karma to a very, very decent degree, where you could be proactive and change your situation. And for what, just like people come out the hood all the time and become rich, why couldn't it be you? Why can't it be you? You know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta think. It can be me. And I'm gonna be proactive in doing good works until it is. You know, and that's how you gotta think. Unfortunately, man, in the hood, you gotta be an individual. Cause some people are just not trying to go nowhere. And they might not say that, but pay attention to their habits. Pay attention to how they carry themselves. They just wanna, some people want to slow kill. They wanna die like that. You'll say, nah, that's not true. Yeah, it is. Cause sometimes it ain't just money. That's the problem. They could have lost their wife could have got killed, their kids could have got killed, and they just don't care about life. Because to them, no matter what they get, it's not gonna make it better. You have to determine those things, what kind of people you're around. Somebody you can see that really don't care about life for whatever reason. It might be justified. I mean, not justified, but it might be a good reason, a valid reason to like feel the way they feel. Sometimes you don't have to agree with people. You just have to understand. Okay, you seen this man lost it all. He lost his kid. He lost his wife. He doesn't care about life like you do. So you don't judge him like you would judge somebody else. And if he doesn't want to do anything with his life, then you can't make a companion. You can't make him your companion, your friend, your comrade, because he doesn't care. So you gotta be. It's a lot of people like that out here. You know what I'm saying? And you pay attention. They're not trying to really go anywhere. And if they think they are, I mean, they really just think that I'll just live and work and then die. That's what I'll do. I'm not really trying to, I mean, what else is life gonna give me? That's what they'll think. And you have to realize, okay, I gotta be an individual out here. I'm trying to get somewhere. I gotta stand on my own. Cause then you'll realize I can't even really chill with nobody like that. Nope. You can't even chill with them. Cause you don't know what kind of bad karma they got. See, when people got bad karma, you can't even chill with them, because you don't know what's coming. For example, some people that rob people all the time, You can't hang with somebody that rob people all the time. No, you can't do it because on their road of karma, you don't know what's coming. Somebody might come back and want to kill them and kill you and them. You know how many people died like that? Being associated with somebody that's robbing everybody. And then when karma finally catches up to them, you're right there with them. That's why you got to find out people's habits. You know what I'm saying? You got to find out what people do. Okay, you know people robbing people? Nah, I can't hang with that person. Nah, because you don't never know when that's going to come back on. I always tell the story about this one dude, my cousin, her baby daddy. In Charlotte, he used to make a reputation for robbing people. He robbed a lot of people. He robbed so many people. He almost robbed my stepdad's little brother. He almost robbed somebody that was associated with his family, with his baby mother. And at that time, I think he had a shotgun and told him, don't do it. He had a shotgun on him. You know what I'm saying? But this person robbed so many people in Charlotte and everything. Let's just put it like this. In Charlotte, if you're a big thug, everybody gonna know you. Charlotte, one of them cities. If you really move around, you know what I'm saying, and you do a lot of stuff, a lot of people it's gonna all connect where everybody know you. On east side of town. That's how Charlotte is. If I ask about somebody really big, every side of town, that person, they know that person on every side of town. Now that's Charlotte. Okay, so with this person, it's the same thing. Everybody knew him on every side of town. And in his case, it didn't work to his advantage because he was robbing everybody. He was robbing everybody. So then he got the stigma of robbing everybody, and everybody knew it on every side of town. So one night, he was in front of the liquor house, what we call the liquor, which was night, because the liquor house, now I realize when I get older, is for when the liquor store closed, you still, you know what I'm saying? People still sell, you know, so he was outside the liquor store and everything, liquor house, whatever, you know, and he was just sitting in front of it, probably smoking weed in the car. So they were sitting in the car, and the dude that knew he was robbing everybody came up and shot through the back of the car and shot him like that through his back seat. He got shot from the back of his car. He shot into the back of his front seat, the driver's seat. And how the story goes is when he shot him, he pulled down his shades to make sure he was dead. That's how bad he wanted him dead. The liquor house knew what was going on. They locked all the doors, from my understanding. They locked all the doors. They knew they was about to kill him. And the reason why they killed him, because he robbed so many people. He robbed good people. See, to really be a robber, you gotta rob good people, because that's the only ones you can really take advantage of. That's the only ones you're gonna catch slipping. That's the ones gonna put their guard down. Most people that's shiesty like you gonna suspect the worst. They gonna suspect you gonna rob them. So think about it. If you rob people, it's gonna be the nice dude usually that can let his guard down a little bit. That's the one that you're gonna rob. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna rob the thug with the attitude with a strap on him, and he don't trust nobody. He about to pull his strap on anybody. You ain't gonna try that person. You eventually, if you make a career out of robbing people, you gotta prey on the weak. You gotta prey on people that's weak. That's part of it. Which means even when it comes to the streets, you got good people on the streets, right? That sell drugs, everything like that. And they not shiesty, you know what I'm saying? They good people. You can drink with them, hang with them, they show love, everything. See, a robber becomes like a hater. That person's gonna rob that good dude that everybody cool with, you know what I'm saying, in the hood. And when you start robbing good people that everybody cool with, the good dope dealer that look out for everybody and buy people clothes and buy people shoes and look out for the community, when you rob that dude, you dead. Simple as that. And that's the good dude. You know, so eventually, if you rob a lot of people, you're gonna rob a good dude. And that's what's gonna get you right there. That's all it's gonna take. You know what I'm saying? Because the shiesty people most people gonna be like, well, okay, that person kind of shiesty themselves. You know what I'm saying? He do stuff himself because they gonna think that's his karma. They gonna act like that's his karma. He deserve it, they gonna say. But you rob a good person, it's over. Everybody gonna wanna get you. They gonna put the green light on you. You know what I mean? They gonna put that green light on you because you rob good people. So that's what happened to him. He got killed. He robbed so many people that it caught up with him. That's bad karma. So you can't be associated with people that do stuff like that. You can't. Even if you're in the streets. No. Because I'd rather be in the streets. You got two people. One's a hustler and one take from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And they just scheme on everybody who got it. It's like the worst nightmare. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no way around it. Because in each hood, there's always going to be somebody, you might get love from the hood, but there's always going to be that one person that ain't really got love for you, that's kind of quiet. That's going to be the one that want to get you. That one that kind of standoffish, you know what I'm saying, kind of sit in the background, that's going to be the one. Everybody else kind of talking to you and everything, but this one person kind of move around like you don't really, you know what I'm saying, he kind of acknowledge you. That's going to be the one that want to rob you. Yeah, so you know, that's just like, you know, I learned to create good karma. That's why those who playing with me, you just don't understand. Once you come in contact with that good karma, it's gonna tear you apart, buddy. My good karma gonna tear you apart. Because once it collides with something negative, it's just gonna, positive karma is just gonna shred that to pieces. Just like that's what it's built to do. The good karma is built to shred negativity to pieces in my life. Any negativity, whether it's from money or whatever it is designed to destroy negativity. So when my karma finds you, it's gonna shred you to pieces. That's what's gonna happen because I'm creating good karma. I'm proactive about it. See, if I could teach Christians really how to do this, man, you know what I'm saying, you'll understand, man. You could be as proactive as you want to be. The sky's the limit. You could be as proactive about your karma as you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Once you understand this concept and it's personal, and it don't matter what the preacher's doing with his karma, it don't matter what the deacons is doing, it don't matter what your family is doing, it don't matter what nobody else is doing. You realize I can be proactive about my own karma. It'll take your life to a whole nother level. But that's how I gotta be. You gotta realize my karma is for me. Makes sense? And I'm gonna be proactive about it. I'm gonna be proactive. I'm gonna be very proactive, super proactive. You can go as far as you wanna go. But these days it gets tricky, man, where you gotta stay away from people. You gotta be a threat in the right way. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pose a threat. You gotta always pose a threat. With the Americans, to have anything here, you gotta pose a threat. That's how it is. You can't be a nice guy because people will prey on you. That's just, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You have to pose a threat. See, me, I pose a threat spiritually. Now people get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You thought it was a game. Now you see I pose a threat spiritually. Because I'm very proactive about my good karma. Like right now I'm fasting. I'm basically on day 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm always fasting. This makes 40 days I've done fasted. I'm glad I thought about this. This makes 40 days I done fasted in Brooklyn since I got here to Brooklyn. Today is day 40 of my fast. And look how much has changed since I came here. 40 days. This is 40 days of fasting. See, if you take your time, eventually you'll get there. But you might not be able to do a 40-day fast like the Lord and like Moses, because some people died just attempting to do it. I seen that. But you can, if you're patient. See, sometimes you gotta just be patient, and you're gonna get to that 40-day mark, and you still gonna get you're gonna get similar results because you fasted literally for 40 days. So all of that's gonna add up. Make sense? And if you sense the atmosphere from the time that you started, from that before the 40-day mark, from day 1 to the 40-day mark, everything has changed. Everything has changed. And you got to be patient with fasting like this. You can't try to do it all in one day. No pun intended, or at one time. But one day is no pun intended, so. Yeah, man, now I'm at 40 days of being here fasting, you know what I'm saying? Since I've been back in Brooklyn, 40 days of fasting tonight, as of tonight. You know what I'm saying? And look at the community, look at everything that's going on. That's me being proactive about my karma, just like that. 40 days done, just like that. 40 days, just like that. Yep. 40 days, just like that, man. So you gotta be on the offense. You gotta be on the offense, man. When people think it's a game, they think you playing games. They think you're religious, or they want to put pressure on you. But ultimately, karma's gonna win. See, karma's always gonna win. It's a game of chess, and with karma, oof. If you working bad karma, you never know what's gonna happen to you. You could just get struck down with a sickness a rare disease that nobody know how to heal. And you can go to all these doctors and they can't heal you. And or you just get some illness and just die. And it was your karma. See, the God-fearing person realizes this. Why you could hide in a room and a disease, karma will find you. You could go in the woods and karma will find you. You can hide in the mountains. You can hide in the valley. And somehow, if God wants you to die, you will die. It don't matter where you go. You could go hide in the jungle. You can hide by a river and be by the river, and somehow you get a bacteria in the water, what you thought was a fresh spring. You get a bacteria-eating disease and die. A flesh-eating bacteria disease, and you die. Karma will find you anywhere. You can go underwater and make a city underwater, like Atlantis, something like that, right? And you could be in this Atlantis-like underwater city, and karma will find you down there. That's how you have to think about karma. And so can you imagine the person that creates bad karma on purpose? We all trying to get bad karma out of our life, right? We're trying our best every day, right? But can you imagine the jerk that creates bad karma because he think he's bad or whatever? Can you imagine what that person? I mean, because the higher I get in spirituality, the more I realize it's no escaping this stuff, man. It's no escape. Nope. It's no escape. Police ain't gonna get away. I don't care what you talk about. I don't care what you talk about at all. You're not gonna get away from karma. Something gonna get you. And it might not be it might not be the obvious, but it could be something that you least expect. Something happened to you that you least expect. Same thing with like the American community. You know what I'm saying? Like they think they got the military, they got the police, they got the FBI, the CIA. Like we don't care. But karma will come and get you like you never expected. That's how it works. Like, so I learned like to keep bad karma to a minimum as much as humanly possible. And that's what Christians basically learn. You know, while other people, for whatever reason, you lose track of your karma, and that's why you crash out. You lost track of it. You lost track of how much wrong you did, how much bad things you did to people, how many bad things you did out here to people, and how many bad things you did in your community. You lost track of it. Or maybe you never knew that some of these things was wrong. I mean, innocently, you may have never known. And because of your lack of understanding, you created a whole bunch of bad karma. And now you're doomed, right? And so, you know, a Christian, basically, we keep our eye on our karma. We keep our eyes on our karma, and we create good karma. And while everybody else just let it pile up, and before you know it, man, you know, without somebody even touching you, you get what you deserve. See, that's one thing we have to be assured of, even in this spiritual war. The beautiful thing is that people definitely gonna get their karma. The Bible says God is not mocked. Whatsoever man sows, that shall he reap. Christians in America can't stop these people from reaping what they sow, right or wrong. If they don't repent, you can have all the well-meaning feelings that you feel for these people. Karma is not gonna come and see if you got a couple good Christian friends and let you go because you got a couple good Christian friends. You have to create good karma. And if you created bad karma, ain't no Christian community can hold it back, because it doesn't, you know, that doesn't even make sense to me. But some people are that goofy or superstitious to where they'll think getting in cahoots with the Christians is gonna get you out of it. Rubbing shoulders with the big Christians, it's not gonna help you. Karma's not gonna say, well, you got a couple good Christian friends, that's okay. You cool with the preacher, don't matter. Karma's still gonna get you. It don't matter if you cool with the preacher, karma's still gonna get you. Karma gonna come and give you what you deserve. That's based on the Bible. So while, you know, these Americans don't want it to happen for them, or they try to help these Americans that play games, I'm sorry to tell you, ain't nothing you could do. Because it's based on karma. It's not based on me. It's based on karma. And I know you believe in that, don't you? And so ain't no way in the world they gonna get past it. So I really don't have to fast like I'm doing, because I know they gonna get what they deserve. right now, I've already won. My whole purpose, my whole spiritual war was to come to New York and go and handle my business, and I already did it. Before the 40-day mark of fasting in Brooklyn, I already did it. This country is gone. With all the stuff that they doing to Maduro, all these wars, everything over, I could go back down south now. So everything else, I mean, as of today, and I will feel totally comfortable and content that this is over for America. We've already won. Mission accomplished. Now everything is just extra. This is extras now from this point. Because, I mean, you can clearly see, right? Okay. So my objective was accomplished before I even settled into New York. You know what I'm saying? I already accomplished my objective because this is gone. This is done. Now I could go back down south and just wait for it all to end. You know what I'm saying? So from here on, it just really doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to be up here. I don't want to be successful. I don't want to have my own little place up here, but it wouldn't even matter at this point because I've already achieved my objective. This is over. I mean, it's so much bad karma, and it ain't even started. I mean, you ain't even seen half of it. Keep that in mind, and then look at what you do see. Look at what you do see, you know, so. That's why, man, you know, I just keep moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Just keep moving forward, and I've already won. It's mission accomplished already. Glory to Yahweh. Hallelujah. Glory to your name for your goodness. Because a fast ain't nothing if God don't bless you. A fast, going without food ain't nothing if God don't touch the fast and do things out here in these streets. Giving offerings is nothing. That's money. If God don't touch it, it's nothing. So that's why we always give God the praise, no matter what efforts we have, because our efforts alone is doing nothing. Our efforts alone is nothing. And that's how you stay humble. See, that's a humble attitude. But did I sound lowly and all weak and soft about it? I mean, I sounded like a man about it. But that's what it is. You know, God, without God touching the fast, a fast ain't nothing. If going without food is nothing if God don't touch it. Giving money, giving offerings is nothing if God doesn't touch it. And see, as long as you stay in that attitude and spirit, that's the right spirit right there. While they telling you I'm doing things, giving offers in the wrong spirit, I already know. Because I know how cliche American Christians are. I know them pretty good, don't I? You know, I'm at war. That's what I'm at. That's what I am, right? But my right spirit is first of all, I'm doing it for the work of God. I'm giving offerings for the work. This isn't a clown game. You know, I'm giving work. I'm giving offerings to help the work of God, the word of God being preached. That's first and foremost. That's the foundation, right? And then from there, you know, God will meet my needs. I love blessing God's people. God knows that. I love helping God's people. I definitely do. You know, and that's my foundation as well. You know, so, you know, that is the right spirit. You just want me to be a soft clown about this, and I'm not. I'm aggressive about it. That's right, and I'm proactive about it. And with that being said, you know, you're trying, because you really ain't never had that kind of spirit. You know, you think I'm doing it in the wrong spirit. No, I'm not. I just showed you the spirit I'm doing it in. I just showed you the spirit I'm doing it in. I'm doing it in giving it to God's work, giving offerings to God's work, and loving to bless God's people. and help God's people. That is the right spirit. Think about it. If you're giving something, right, what's going to be the right spirit of giving in this context? Giving to help the gospel be preached. That's going to be the right spirit. You looking for a certain attitude or emotion. When those things fluctuate, and that's facts, right? That fluctuates. So see, you just gotta be a man and a woman about it, man. Don't put your mouth on people saying they're doing it in the wrong spirit, and you ain't even ask them, you ain't even search their heart, because you're looking at a certain attitude. And a man, I don't know how you expect a man to walk around. Like, see me, I guess because I was raised around masculine men, I don't expect a man to smile all the time, or you know what I mean, or act like a cartoon or something like that. Sometimes men are just men, you know. It's not wrong, you know. You don't think God understands that? You know, so I mean, some people just haven't been raised around realistic masculine men, and so you'll just take a look at somebody and think they're doing things in the wrong spirit, and you really, you know, you just haven't been around masculine men. That's the truth. Many of you. You know, and you're judging it. You're judging his persona, his masculine persona, as you're misjudging that. Your discernment is off. And now add that with war, a masculine man with war, you're going to misjudge it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But a man gonna listen to a man. You're gonna hear enough to say, okay, that's the right attitude. You're going to be able to listen through the voice, the demeanor of the man. You're going to listen to his words. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know, okay, that's the right attitude. That's the right spirit. The right spirit is giving offerings to, let's be real. Let's be scriptural. Let's be biblical here. The right spirit is giving to help God's work, right? To support God's house. That's the right spirit, so to speak. And then, for me, I love helping. The Bible says God loves what? A cheerful giver. I'm a cheerful giver. I love giving. I don't give grudgingly. I love giving. I love giving to God's people. The Bible says God loves a cheerful giver. Okay? And so that's the right spirit. All this, what you're thinking is, I'm throwing it out there mad. You know what I'm saying? And you really don't even know me close enough to even know if I'm mad half the times. You don't really know that. You don't really know if I'm even mad. You know what I'm saying? And so, so people gonna tell you was betting on, no pun intended, that I was doing everything in the wrong spirit till you just heard what you heard. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing anything. I mean, come on. Why would I do that? I'm too smart to do that. I ain't gonna do something in the wrong spirit and be off about what I'm doing. And unfortunately for you, God's gonna have mercy. And that's what it's nothing you can do about it. Mercy the devil hates mercy because mercy is undeserved. Mercy is something that God gives to whoever he wants to give it to. He doesn't need your permission. He doesn't need the cops' permission. He doesn't need American Donald Trump's permission. He don't need black people permission. He gives mercy to who he want to give mercy to. And when you play with somebody that God has extended mercy to, listen, you're asking for death on a stick, buddy. You're asking for death for you and your family. That's just basically it. And that's not even directed towards any particular person. It's the whole community. You asking for death, Stop hanging with them clowns. You know what I'm saying? They're sitting around on goofy time. They ain't on demon time. You're on clown time, bro. On clown time all day. You know what I'm saying? While we creating good karma. You know what I'm saying? While we don't care what you think anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as I'm in this room, minding my business, that's what God gonna look at, buddy. That's all God looking at. And any clown playing around me and I'm in here minding my business, listen, buddy, you a fool if you think something gonna happen to me. You a fool if you think you're gonna get enough evidence against me and I'm sitting up here in this room by myself. You out your cotton picking mind if you think you're gonna get something off me, buddy. You out your cotton picking mind if you think you're gonna create bad karma or make somebody join the cause against me and I'm out the way and I'm minding my business. It ain't gonna work. God ain't gonna let it work. See, that's the difference between you and God. God gonna be on your head playing with somebody that's minding their business. Okay? And it don't matter what you talking about, sucker. Okay? He gonna be on your head. Okay? I mind my business. And that's all I gotta do. Okay? And if you don't like what's on my mind, listen, ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You're on clown time, that's how we know. Sitting up here worried about what's on somebody's mind. That's how we know you on clown time. That ain't demon time, that's clown time. Cause you know what? I ain't worried about what's on nobody's mind. You understand me? I know. I don't let my mind even go there where I'm worried about what's on somebody's mind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that part. You know, so yeah, man. You know, we moving forward. Like I said, this day one complete of my fast. You know, I got 2 more days to go, man. It's 4 in March, man. It's 4 in March. Definitely it's 4 in March. We ain't playing no games. No, this is like I'm working for me and the body of Christ. Because I see all this gang stalking. I hear about all this gang stalking stuff going on, man. And I know they doing it to our families. That's one thing you got to realize. They gang stalking our family. Okay? And it may hurt you. It may bother you. It may make you want to go catch a body. But the best solution is going to be just to buckle in and turn your back on America and just buckle into this warfare like I'm talking about. That's how you're going to get retribution, vindication. That's how you're going to get vindicated. Just focus on war. You know what I'm saying? They gang stalking us and our family, especially if your family helping you. If your family helping you, they definitely gonna be gang stalking your family. I already know that. I already know, man. You know what I'm saying? I've watched this long enough to know. You know what I'm saying? If my personality, if I watch something for years, I already kind of know I don't have to see it. I don't have to have it spelled out for me. You know what I'm saying? I know what they do. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you're not one of those people that, you know, you're this optimistic person to a fault where you're not incorporating real reality. Like I talked about earlier, measuring time, not able to measure time and what's going to happen ahead of us because you're not incorporating reality for whatever reason, or you're suppressing reality. If you suppress reality in this situation where you don't accept that they're gang stalking your family, you know, they gotta be doing that. You're not gonna be able to maneuver as good as the person that does. You're not gonna be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to do it. You know, the person that realizes more reality is gonna be able to maneuver way better. I'm telling you. That will make sense to you. It will make sense to you when you look at your situation and you listen to what I'm saying. It will make sense to you. You know, if you just suppress it and say, well, my family ain't being gang stalked. Nah. You ain't gonna go. I'm gonna tell you what the first mistake in your maneuvers that you gonna make. You ain't gonna go as hard as you need to. As if you realized your family being gang stalked. If you just suppress that, you ain't gonna fast that much. You ain't gonna give that much offerings. When you realize they gang stalking you and your family, you gonna maneuver way more, being more proactive about karma, destroying these people. And that maneuver is what counts right now. And you're not going to be doing that. You're not going to be playing that position because you're in denial about this. You're in denial about America being the enemy. You're in denial about them playing with your family and playing around your mind. That's what they're doing. Okay, so then once you accept reality and incorporate that reality, right, and don't suppress it, you're going to be a ferocious bear. You're going to be a ferocious bear. You're going to be a ferocious bear, buddy. They thought you was a teddy bear. You're going to be a ferocious bear, buddy. I'm telling you. They thought you was a teddy bear, didn't they? They don't think you're a teddy bear now. They think you're a teddy bear now. They think you're a teddy now. Do they think you're a teddy now, do they? They don't think you're a teddy now, do they? Well, he ain't a teddy now. We thought he was a teddy. You thought I was a teddy, didn't you? Yeah. You see, I ain't a teddy bear, don't you? You got your mind playing with me, buddy. I'm a ferocious bear. I would devour you. I would devour your whole community. And now you know that, don't you? Yeah. See, when you realize they gang stalking your family, pay attention to the text that you get from your family. Pay attention to what your family be talking about. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to what they talking about. Pay attention to all this weird stuff happening to your family. Your they are using witchcraft against your family. They are reading your family's mind. You know, because they playing all the same mind games with your family and everything. And when you realize that, man, listen, you should rise up like a ferocious bear, sparing nobody, even their family. Okay? See, it's gonna take a lot of y'all a lot longer, man, for you to just dig into this warfare, man, and start getting in the trenches, man. You're not in the trenches yet. You still on the defense in warfare, but you're gonna you're gonna get angry enough and you're gonna get on the offense like me. All it's gonna take is a little more. Cause see, I got more of it. They concentrated more of it on me than y'all. That's why I don't let nobody judge me. But as time goes by on the collective tip, that you're gonna start getting more of a bigger dosage of all this stuff that you're going through. And when you do, listen, you're gonna be on the offense. You're gonna be at war with these people, I'm telling you. The prophet is just ahead of everybody. And they can talk about wishing ill on people. They can talk about wishing bad for people. I'm not in a social club. I'm not in this club in the community where, you know, my emotions and how I carry myself is based on what these people talking about on YouTube and everything. I don't care how they feel about my feelings or what I feel about people, and they wished ill on me. That's first and foremost. I'm speaking for me. I speak for myself. They wish ill on me by their actions. Okay, so then they're back to karma. Okay, whether I wish it on them or not, they're gonna get what they deserve. It's the bottom line. That's why I told you I don't really have to do anything. I'm just a little more proactive than the average person, but based on their karma, they're gonna get what they deserve anyway. Whether I want it for them to happen, whether I want it to happen or not, they're gonna get what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? Some people, you know, in Christianity, you know, you'll say, well, you know, I ain't wishing nothing on nobody. Wishing is, you're at war. This is not a wish. This is not a mere wish. You're in a consistent war. How's you wishing? See, all you got to do is get your mind out of acting like you fighting some little ghetto war. You're not fighting a little ghetto war. You're in a real war, right? So in a real war, you have to defeat your enemies. Okay? That's how far this has went. We're not in a situation where there's an emotional feud between you and the community. That's not what this is. Then you could talk about forgiveness or the element of wishing ill on people and everything. This is escalated to war. Once something escalates to war, the element of wishing ill and unforgiveness and forgiveness, those are not even dynamics that's even looked at. You're not looking at that when you're in a war. When Russia and Ukraine are fighting, is it a matter of unforgiveness? When Russia is fighting Ukraine and Ukraine is fighting Russia, is it a matter of wishing ill on people? Do you look at it that way? Or is it just a war because this is what's necessary? When all else fails, obviously you went beyond forgiveness, because by the time you go to war, all else has failed, including forgiveness or thinking about working things out between you and these people. That's all failed when you're in war, right or wrong. So why would you go back to thinking it or let somebody else make you feel that that's what you're way beyond that? War is way beyond the elements of forgiveness and unforgiveness and wishing ill on people. Okay, is Russia wishing ill on Ukraine? You ain't gonna look at it like it's a matter of war. It's way beyond that. It's way beyond that. So, I can explain my position. People can't explain theirs. I'm talking about people, the enemies, these fraudulent people, these counterfeits. They can't explain their position. I can explain mine. You know what I'm saying? This is war. That's what it is. So this ain't no matter of unforgiveness or bitterness or hating some group of people. It's way beyond that now. It ain't even a group of people. All these Americans they used against me and you, is you still talking about a secret society? Not really. If you notice that, I don't really talk about it. I talk about in terms of the full capacity who was the problem. It was the Americans. They sat back and watched this stuff happen. The black community watched it happen. They watched me for sure. They sit back and watched. They all did. From city to city. They thought it was a game. Now they don't think it's a game, do it? Because now you start to see people like Maduro suffering. Now you're getting your humanity back, where now you see people suffer that you care about. You don't like that, do you? Well, God doesn't like you playing with me. So now you get your humanity back by seeing someone suffer that you would care about. And it's going to continue to happen with the look like the lady that got killed. Okay, you care about this one person. Okay, well, God cares about me as one person. Okay, so you're just getting, it's karma. That's all it is. That's why, we can't feel sorry for these people. And if you got a good heart, you're going to feel it. I even feel it. So I know you ain't even, you're not totally where your mind should be as far as these Americans being the enemy. So I know you're going to look at them and see things and you're going to feel sorry for them, right? But I want you to be reminded of Jeremiah. I want you to be reminded of the book of Jeremiah, where God tells Jeremiah to not pray for these people, don't cry for them, and don't feel sorry for them. It comes a time, man, you have to be a man or a woman. You can't go keep spinning your wheels and trying to pray for people and help people and they don't want it for themselves. At some point, they don't want it for themselves, man. That's how I look at it. And when you don't want it for yourself, I ain't gonna want it for you too either. I ain't gonna sit there and want it for you for too long. As a grown man, you're a musty grown man. You know what I'm saying? You're a musty grown man. And I'm not going to sit up here and play with you. The Bible, and this is Jeremiah, the 13th chapter, the 11th verse. The 14th verse. Jeremiah, the 13th verse, the 13th chapter, the 14th verse. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. This is God talking. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. This is God talking to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry or pray for them. You can't have, don't even feel sorrow for them. I won't listen when they call to me for help in times of trouble. That's God. That's what I'm saying. It comes a point in time, not all the time, but this time it does, where you don't pray for these people no more. I don't pray for America no more. No, I don't. I don't supposed to. You play all these games, you did all this stuff. I don't supposed to pray for you. You're superstitious and religious, and I'm not. I'm spiritual. Okay? I get in that word. I get in that word for myself. I don't need no preacher to get in that word for me. I can read. I'm literate, right? I can read that word, and that tells me right there what I need to know. God says, don't pray for them. Don't cry for them. Don't pray for them. And when they in trouble, I ain't gonna listen to them. That's it. I don't need no preacher to tell me anything else. I don't need nobody to tell me about unforgiveness and bitterness. That's what I need right there. And that's what I get right there. That word right there. Okay? See, that's the last word. Right? That's the last say so. That's God having the last say so. You go to that word on these people. And ain't nothing they can say. Ain't nothing they can say. You could talk about, you could be a soft little person, because that's what you choose to be, and you choose to, some certain style of Christianity where you want to be a nice guy. That's you. You want this nice guy Christianity? That's you. I'm getting that word right there. You see what I'm saying? It right there, it says, Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Okay? And that's that. You don't sit up and play with nobody like they children, them musty grown men and women out there. And if they want to play games, listen, they get what they deserve. That's that simple. There ain't no other way to look at it. There ain't no other way to look at it.